Ridiculous beats.
My name is Demetrius Holt, but you may know me better by the name Hellspawn. Now, I'm coming to you today because I'm putting together a networking event in order to financially bolster Black-owned comic book conventions. It's going to be called the Blurred and Powerful event, and it's going to happen at San Diego Comic-Con 2023. Now, I've already done all the research. I've already talked to all the conventions. What I need for you all is to just share this message. Talk to your friends. But the point is to get high-dollar investors out of San Diego so that they can see what a comic book convention could look like at its height. So that when these other comic book conventions start to exhibit to them, start to explain to them what they're made of, then they know that they're going to get a return on their investment. So if you have any information on anybody that you may know may be interested, please contact me and we'll have a conversation. And if your friends need to know who I am, just tell them to Google my name or Black E-Man. Thanks.
Bring devotion home on digital. Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell star in this epic and inspirational story based on true events of two heroic U.S. fighter pilots whose sacrifices made them the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. Buy devotion on digital now, packed with behind-the-scenes bonus content available at participating retailers rated PG-13 from Paramount Pictures. Bring devotion home on digital.
In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I'm needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hello, back for another episode of Blurred's Eye View. It's your man on the wall, the man up north, Chris Fury. What's going on, everybody? I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to thank everybody for showing love on the YouTube channel. Be sure, if this is your first time checking us out, to go over to that channel, hit the notification bell, and hit the subscribe button. You'll get great shows, past episodes, shorts, and more. Also, you can also check us out on Twitch, Blurred's Eye View 1. Follow us on IG, where the link is in the bio, and it'll send you to all those great places where you can find us on all the socials, including Opulence Radio, iHeart, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You know the drill. Meanwhile, let's get our people in here. Lady Mandalore's in the building. Hello.
Oh, hello. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you this evening? I don't know what that was. My brain had a hiccup for a second. Sorry.
Look, I don't know what was going on, but it turned out my notebook was laying on the keyboard. I'm like, oh, that was the hiccup one.
Whoopsie.
I was like, that's what the pause was. We got our cinematic assassin, Will, be watching in the building. What's going on, Will?
Hey, I'm hating hella hard. I just realized y'all got the blue light special going. Wait till I get my little Tesseract set up or something. My glowing blue going on.
I mean, I got one on deck. I mean, so we also got the man of the square circle, the Black Fox, the other Will.
I have
We're
working.
I have got to come up with a different name.
We need to have like a battle of the wills at some point.
The battle of the wheel.
Ooh, come on! Look, you're smiling, you're laughing. It might not be bad.
I'm laughing because immediately I want to go. Will be. I have the high ground.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got knees. That's not fair.
Oh my God. We have a special guest with us tonight, Josh Evans, who's going to talk to us about his project, Talk Story to Me, which I can I announce?
Yeah, you can say the Black Girl Nerds already broke. You can say all the things.
Yeah, okay. So Black Girl Nerds broke the news and everything else, and he has open auditions and as well, and yours truly is also a part of said project. So
You didn't tell nobody.
I was waiting. I gotta wait for these things. I just can't blurt them, you know.
Open auditions, you say.
Yeah.
Oh.
You gotta work on the villain lab. You gotta work on
and
that.
and we can I will put this out for the people listening. It is a villain, because when I heard your thing, I was like, oh, he has an amazing villain voice.
There it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, but it doesn't have to be a dude villain though, right?
No, it does not. It does not. It's
Yeah.
We're splitting it. Yeah, no. But the one I have for him is turns out to be a villain.
Well, of course.
Oh yes.
I mean, no, that's his life. That's his whole aesthetic.
Yeah,
I'm a great guy, but good Lord, I have villain tendencies. It's just there. So why ignore it?
They have more fun.
They do. They really do.
Yeah.
So man. So it's been a lot of news that's happened. Some of it happened on Tuesday night show. We just found out Lisa Marie Presley passed away. 54 years old. She was really young, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cardiac arrest. She was just at the Golden Globes.
Dang.
Because Austin Butler,
wow.
Yeah, she was just at the Golden Globe because Austin Butler won an award for playing Elvis.
Oh right. Oh wow. Oh
I didn't
wow.
realize that.
So I'm like, wow, we are living in a very
that started on 2023 like a roulette wheel, didn't he?
Right. What in the world? But before we do that, let's get into all of this. So Kristen Ritter has been rumored, and now it seems like insiders are confirming that she will be returning as Jessica Jones in the new Daredevil series, Born Again. It looks like some of the Netflix stars are returning, especially after we've seen Matt Murdock showing up in Spider-Man: No Way Home, and it was just kind of like, and then showing up in She-Hulk.
Yes.
I'm for this. However, and this is great. This is great news because it already looks like not only is she returning, but John Barenthal's returning as well as the Punisher.
Well, shut my mouth.
And I'm going
Ooh, I like me some Johnny B.
Look. Let's face it. Ever since we seen him as Shane in The Walking Dead, and then he did the Punisher's TV series, we were just like, yeah.
You could stay.
He had Punisher tendencies to Walking Dead. We all knew that.
Like he got all the other ones beat.
The weight room though after King Richard.
Because, yeah. Frank is coming back with a vengeance. I'm telling you. I'm here for it. Unfortunately, Mike Coulter it's nothing in the cards yet. But for right now, we know Mike Coulter will not be returning as Luke Cage. And it's not due to the character development or anything. It's just Mike Coulter is really a busy man right now. He said he would love to. It's just, as he stated, it's in his rearview mirror because he's doing his TV show on Evil, what's going on in its 4th season. He has a movie out now with Gerard Butler called Plane. His career is going fast. So, the mouse might want to say, hey, you may not have to do a show right now, but you're going to show up for like an episode or two.
Yeah.
I just think like the mouse with the gauntlets, like, you're going to come home, Mike. You're going to come home.
Just slap him with one of those big Disney checks.
Right.
Right. Like, here's like 10 years worth of pay.
Yeah, right. It's like
you want to work 3 shows or you want to work just this one?
I just see the mouse just being uber insulting. How much is Paramount paying you? Oh,
that's cute.
cute.
That's cute. How sweet. I didn't know you worked for charity.
That was Iger's signing bonus.
Look at that. That's cute. You know, that's one of those things.
Isn't that precious?
Yeah, isn't that precious?
Isn't that precious? Not the church lady.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
They're back there giggling and laughing. Good Lord. There's also rumors that there's going to be a Strange Academy series as well. And they said it could be linked into the Secret Wars film that's going to come out. Well, they keep changing the date. So I'm not going to say when the date is. They just keep changing the date. DVD. I'm for that. I'm good for that because let's face it, we didn't expect Wong to be that kind of a standout character. And now we want, it's we just didn't know.
Madison
Who would have thought
to be there too?
Madison.
I do.
I want to know who
want
this goat
Madison.
is. Yeah, I want to know who this goat is that she's made this deal with. So it's, good Lord, that
the couple we didn't know we needed.
Yeah, Wong and Madison. Good
Madison.
Lord. Before we get to the Golden Globes recap, we want to thank our favorite family for coming through. Here they are. Don't ask me why I did that, Kira. Don't ask me why.
I was doing the whole theme song while I was muted, so it was right.
We don't own the rights to that music, by the way. We don't own the rights to that.
What is drip if not swag persevering?
Hey,
that will never leave my mind.
You know, it's just one of those lines that drop, and you're just like, "Damn, my guy."
Those were some pimp lines. That was some game right there.
It really was. That's where the turtleneck and the thin gold chain came from.
Right.
The do-rag and everything. I'm like, after that line, like he's technically Wakandan because his body's made out of vibranium. He's dropping these bars.
All you missing is Guy playing in the background as he's saying it.
I hate you.
It was, oh my God. There's a lot to be said that WandaVision just left a really good taste in a lot of people's mouth. What can I say? And Megan apparently has too. She does have Wanda tendencies. I'm just like, you're giving me Wanda right now. You acting like your mother? That's your mama, ain't it?
That's your family.
Right.
That's your mama's genes kicking in, right?
Right.
You get that from your mama's side.
Your daddy's daughter, but you acting like your mama right now.
Okay. That's that Jenkins in you. That's that Jenkins.
This is why I sleep on the couch.
Right. Oh my God. It's been Golden Globes, which I've joyfully coined probably one of the blackest nights of this year so far, next to the NAACP Awards, which is coming up next month, because that's definitely the blackest night of the year.
BET Awards are close.
Yeah.
BET Awards did step it up though. NAACP used to run it for a while, but BET did step up.
Yeah, they had to. There was a lot of awards that were given out, but there were some key ones that really meant something to us. One of those numbers, or one of those wins, was the Queen, Angela Bassett, winning for supporting actress. There it is.
Reset the clock.
Reset the clock. Yeah, he's resetting the clock. So, Josh, in case you're wondering, I have a thing for Angela Bassett, as every good-blooded black man should have.
Is it because of her immaculate shoulders? Because every time she posts, I'm like, she Angela Bassett has done for shoulders what Michelle Obama did for biceps. So
there it is.
Wait. No, Angela did it first. What's love got to do with it? She had it first.
But
he had it first. No, she
Michelle did for biceps what Angela Bassett did for shoulders.
There you go. Okay.
But she won for supporting actress. Well earned, well deserved for Wakanda Forever, because if you've seen that movie, those that are listening or watching, yeah, like it's not because we're fans of the genre. It's just this woman acts. There is a reason why she's one of the highest paid actresses on television. Y'all need to bump her check up because she's been doing this for a long time and been slaying. I can't name a role where she faltered.
Even what is it? A Vampire in Brooklyn done. Even though her worst, she's the best.
I'm just like, how do you give us the worst? It still gives us the best. It's just like Sam Jackson. Snakes on a Plane should not be as good as it is, but because he's in it,
bring it up.
It's just Samuel L. Jackson. That's about the best way you put it. Is like Angela Bassett. I know me and Chris have said this all the time. I was like, I just see Storm. I just see that woman comes in and just all eyes are to her. You ain't saying a word, and you are just lost in it. Now, I'm not as lost as Chris is lost in it when she talks.
I'm lost, and it's for a very good reason. But
don't get me wrong. When Angela Bassett's talking, you kind of straighten up.
Tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, you tucking the imaginary trying to get straight and
good posture when she's speaking.
Just
no wrinkled shirts and none of that stuff.
You done went from bad back to just 8-year-old posture in 10 seconds. Just
your slacks get pressed immediately for no reason. You got a crease right down the center.
Shut up.
Hairline immediately gets perfect. Just
perfect.
Breath be on scope point and knowing full well you just had Subway 10 minutes ago.
Everything falls in line. You speak in the King's English and everything.
Oh my God.
Everything
That's
just tightens
Zach
up.
We needed the Black Ranger to be in front of Angela. Just get that line together.
Not the worst fade. Not the worst fade in television history.
God,
I would be in her presence to get that.
Zach in the beginning,
just a little bit.
Zach in the beginning of Power Rangers did have the worst lineup. So did Pete Ross on Smallville. Those two, they had the same bar. They had the same bar.
I didn't even realize the time. I was like, why did they do my boy like that? It's just like
it's a whoop.
No, we can line this up. We're just keeping it like, no, that's not how it works.
No, you cannot give us a comb over that you would give a rice cake warrior. It does not work for black men.
No,
you cannot give us the comb over.
That's what they use. That's what they use. That's what they use for the lineup. The rice cake. They use the rice cake.
Shut up. Okay. All right. No, y'all gotta stop. Right now. I gotta bring y'all back. I gotta bring y'all back. Wait a minute.
Okay.
No.
All right, back to the Golden Globes.
Oh my God.
Angela. All hail the queen.
All hail the queen. Yes. Michelle Yeoh. Oh, hey, look at that. We got a surprise visitor. It's my man DC. What's going on?
Hey.
Oh. Sorry, I was mad loud. I'm sorry.
Michelle Yeoh has won for Best Actress and
what's good? How y'all doing?
Hey, great.
Good.
House of the Dragon won for Best Drama Series.
Wait, Chris, you had the best album. I'm gonna let you finish real quick, but I just want to let y'all know. Beyonce had the best album last year. No, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to say hello to y'all. See all these fine black people out here. What's going on? How you doing? Kiera was nice to me in my inbox, y'all. I don't know. I ain't gonna tell. I told nobody I wasn't gonna tell nobody, but
that's why I can't talk. That's why you can't be nice to black people. That's why. Tell all your business for no reason. Ain't nobody asked you to come in here, firing off warning shots across my bow. I was being nice. You could have just left it alone, but no. Now I gotta be mean to your ass on a goddamn live TV show. You know what I'm talking about?
And we're back. Wow. We're back.
Wow. DC has this effect on the first Candy Bean, now Lady Mandalore. I don't.
I have a way with ladies. No, real quick. I just wanted to.
You want to plug the March for the Record?
I actually do. if you guys don't mind, I'm making my rounds. I'm just hijacking shows this weekend. So if y'all just see me pop up in random places, like Deadpool, don't worry about it. I'm supposed to be here. I'm just going through the or herpes. Hey, that too. You know, whatever. Pop up when you least expect it. Just know I'm here. You never get rid of me, motherfuckers. Nah. Seriously, this weekend we are having a dope event. It's called March to the Record Books. It is a live stream event. We are going for a podcast record, Guinness Book World Records. If you signed up for it, thank you. If you haven't, what were you waiting for? Anywho, it's going to be dope. There's a lot of people, a lot of different podcasts, dope people. Kiera, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are there. Blur's Eye View's there. Oh, shit.
Yeah. We coming on after you, so.
Oh, man. You guys got to follow us. Good luck. You're going to get shit. This shit's going to have sprinkles.
This man.
I'm everywhere. Sorry. But anywho, I'm all over the place. I'm excited. But I ain't mean to interrupt. Golden Gloves, you were saying, Chris, I'm out of here. You guys have a good show. Appreciate it. Hey, Josh, I've seen your book. You're amazing. Keep it up. Kiera, I don't care what they say about you. You all right. You all right.
Wait. Candy B already gave her the praise already. She's like,
oh, the seal of approval. I don't know how much that counts. It is Candy B, so let's not act like it's. Let's not act like it's.
You still gotta work with her.
I'm gonna tell her.
You gonna tell her? Oh Jesus, Lordy, what is I gonna do? I'll tell her. Anywho, you guys get back to it. You guys are amazing. Kiera, hey, you got any of that apocalyptic stuff you was drinking?
No, not tonight. I'm on a diet. Yeah, no, I gotta be straight. Yeah, I know it's weird. It's weird for me too. Yeah,
it's
no,
wine.
all of this,
it's grapes.
Yeah,
it's grapes.
It's pretty much vegan juice.
Grapes. It's about as vegan.
It's vegan juice. Like this fucking grapes. Like how the fuck are you on a diet from grapes?
The sugar. It's the sugar. Can't have it.
But boil it.
At that point,
DC, it's been really nice to see you again. You know, I hate the fact that you gotta leave so soon. But
you playing me up? Oh, wrap this shit up. All right. Anywho, you guys are amazing. You guys keep doing what you do. I love Blur's Eye View. I just figure since I still have some control behind the scenes, I just pop in wherever I feel like it. I'm out.
Oh, and gone.
How do we go from the family?
Hold on now. I ain't gone yet, motherfucker. I told you I pop up where I want to. Don't tempt me, motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus.
How do we go from the family cookout to the Academy Awards exit?
DC is the man I started with when I started Blur's Eye View, so he's always my brother. We went to media school together.
Excuse me.
We bounce ideas off each other, and I'm like, okay, I just know. He's not as chaotic as it seems. I'm like, he's gonna show up.
Organized chaos.
Oh yeah, I figures it out.
When you buy a house, but you don't change the locks.
That's
something like it. So Ki Kwan, who we know best as Data and Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Goonies, this is one of those stories where you can't help but be happy. People like him, Brendan Fraser. You're just like amazing. And he just won Best Supporting Actor for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once as well. Tyler James Williams, Best Supporting Actor for in the television series for Abbott Elementary. Angela Bassett. Jennifer Coolidge won for White Lotus, Best Supporting Actress. Zendaya for Euphoria. Best Television Series. Quinta Brunson, again. Black Girl Magic, best television actress. It's just there. I love it, and there was so many other ones, but and Eddie Murphy received the Cecil B. DeMille Award and gave some of the best advice.
Man,
I plan to follow it. That's for sure.
I'm like, all three of those points, he wasn't wrong.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and watch. That
man picked his shot, and I respect him as the fearless comedian that he is. I respect him for taking that shot.
Yeah, you couldn't do nothing. And something weird was going on where everyone was looking at Brad Pitt. I don't know what that was all about, but everybody that got up there, hey, Brad Pitt, and Regina Hall with her lovely self, but she's silly as well. I had to stop myself when Brad Pitt stood up to give Keon his flowers,
And somebody said next to me, is it bad that Brad Pitt probably thinks that's one of his older kids that he adopted so many years ago? I had to get up and walk out the room.
William,
I was like, I didn't.
But you repeated it here tonight. You know you wrong. You know you and your friends.
Look,
you and the friends.
Look, it's like somebody falling. I'm going to laugh, but I will check on you.
You said you may not do it right then.
I might not check on you immediately. I will laugh first, but then I'll ask if you okay.
That is a mess.
I think we're all guilty of that. I've seen plenty of videos where somebody like slips down the stairs. I'm like, oh, you okay? Okay, because that looked funny. I'm sorry. I mean,
all right, is he breathing still? Okay.
It's real. Okay.
You can see straight, right? You still. What day is it?
Little kids riding a bike and they run into a pole. I'm like, he's okay. He's not out. I mean, he's not.
Listen, there's a whole Instagram channel called Kids Getting Hurt.
Yes, I actually follow that channel. I did too. I follow that channel and
I feel like
people
didn't.
Yeah,
if you're ever feeling bad, my guy.
Well, so I'm a teacher, so I would love.
Oh, you got the line. No, you need to start posting. You need to start posting. That's what you need to do.
Lord.
So you got it bad because you can't laugh immediately. You gotta check with him first.
All the time. It's like
you go. That's that water cooler talk. You know, like you okay? Lord have mercy.
Lord,
as soon as that door closed and we back in, it's just the teacher's like, yo, did you see? Messing up.
It's bad. It's bad. We're horrible, but it's a good thing. I told you I'm the villain. Look,
oh man,
you don't think Lex gets tickled by some of the stuff that happens? He was like, "Oh, for once, I wasn't involved, and this is hilarious." So.
Straight like that. That's exactly his move.
Oh man.
Oh my god. So yeah, but I did see a video earlier where it's like inside the actor studio type of thing. It's a round table where they have several actors. Brendan Fraser and Ki-Wen Kwan was there together along with some other actors, and they worked on Encino Man together. And he said Brendan, they had met up, they hadn't seen each other in years. And they gave each other a hug, and Brandon looked at him and said, "We're still here." And I'm like, "Wow, that's intense. Yeah. That's intense, considering the fact of the path that Brendan Fraser is going on, and he's onto a great resurgence right now. He is on the same path, and it's like we never really forgot about you two.
No,
we never did.
We've been looking for y'all. Nobody will tell us where they hid you away in the back room.
But the opportunities they're getting now, though, like I said, just well deserved on both counts. So
when Key gave his speech, his winning speech, and he sees Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg stands up like he was the first one to stand up and give him an ovation. Like it was just like this was the guy that got me in, and he's still rooting for me. You know, that's a good feeling. You know, especially when you hear the horror stories in Hollywood and what child actors or young actors have to go through or been through, and they get blackballed, never see him again, or whatever the case may be. To see just these two actors come out of that on the other side and realize, like I've seen videos where Brendan Fraser is talking to fans and they were like, "We've always loved you. We've missed you." You know, and it's brought him to tears where he's just like, this feels good. Even the movie The Whale that he's done, nothing but praise. Nothing but praise. You know, so I'm very proud of them coming out that darkness and coming out the other side, getting these roles.
Did you see the news that apparently Kevin Feige approached Key to personally asked him to join the MCU. Personally came up to him and asked. I want him to play a villain. I do not want him to play a good guy.
Okay.
I got a few people. I got a few names he could probably do.
That would be phenomenal. That would be one way to
a certain Shang-Chi enemy actually that comes to mind he could do.
You could.
A very famous one, but I'm gonna hold that to myself along with my lottery drawing pick. So I'm good.
We might do another fan cast.
We need to do one of those at least like once a month, I feel like, or something.
Yeah, everybody's loving the fan cast. So I think I'm gonna do a switch up on some stuff and do the fan cast. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We can talk to our guest, Josh Evans, about his new project, Talk Story to Me. You guys stay tuned and be ready. And here we go. Running low on energy, long days and even longer nights. Tired of all the other energy drinks and bars promise you a lot and never delivering? Need to make it through work, but want a product that can keep up with your busy lifestyle? Want no longer? Try Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls. The balls that are so smooth and with a load of nutrients and vitamins to really get you up and bouncing off the walls. Made with all natural ingredients and healthy junk to satisfy even the pickiest eater. Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls are sold everywhere where you buy your junk. And now, for those who want that extra kick in the butt, comes Chef's Heavy Duty Chocolate Salty Balls with 120% more caffeine than the leading brand. Disclaimer, this product has not been approved by the FDA or World Health Association. Warning, this product is not intended for consumption by children, elderly people, or women who are pregnant, or may become pregnant. You might even get pregnant. Would you believe that commercial's 3 years old now? I can officially call it a 3-year-old commercial. That's crazy. Shout out to DC who wrote that script. I did the read. You cannot put us in the same room.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. So we are with our special guest, Josh Evans, and he's going to talk to us about his new project, Talk Story to Me. Tell everybody about yourself, your new project, how you got on this path.
Ooh, how I got on this path. I got on this path from being broke, actually.
That's generally how it starts.
Yeah.
Great American story.
Yes.
Right. What's more American than being black and broke? But yeah, you know, like we come up, we watch these superhero shows, Batman in this series, Static Shock, all this stuff, and it's like, oh, I want to do this. And so when I was a kid, you know, I go to the library, thousands of books. I'm like, oh, clearly very easy to become a successful writer. Look at all these.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Right. And then become an adult, it's like, what is this? I gotta pay taxes, I gotta cover my car note, and like the industry is actively against me. What is this nonsense? So lots of years like writing stuff, trying different things here and there. You know, team ups are popular now, I feel like, and especially after Issa Rae did that interview, and she's like, if you want to make it, partner up with people on your level. But 15 years ago, team ups were not common or popular. Everyone was like scratching for the spot for the most part. And so it was hard to work with people. And pretty much like 3 years ago, that's crazy. It's been 3 years. 3 years ago, you know, you try different things, and I love voice acting, wanted to do voice acting. So I just started like, I'm just going to try like a Joker. I'm going to try these things. And this dude named Damon Allums, he's the head of Black nerd group on Facebook, Comic Nerds of Color. He saw what I was doing, and he actually is a voice actor, and he had been doing some stuff. So he reached out, and he's like, hey, man, let me pull you into like this core group that I'm in of voice actors. And then the pandemic hit. So I was like, okay, cool. So then we're all at home, you know, they're auditioning and stuff, and we're doing all that. But I'm with them. I'm like, everyone here is like very good. Why are we not like making our own things? And it's not, I don't think it's bragging, but essentially I'm the writer in the group. So I was like, I got a whole cast here. And so this is where it comes to like broke. It's like, okay, I don't have an animation budget, but I can splurge on a mic. I have a computer. Y'all got all the equipment. Y'all recorded stuff, send it to me. I can put it together. And so we did that pretty much through the pandemic. We did a Jedi, a Star Wars series. We did a children's show that was a musical. We just were making things. Like I was just writing things and figuring it out. Like, what is my style? How do I want this to be? How does the mixing work? you know,
Yes.
and adjusting to the with the being broke, adjusting to being the person who does everything, because I feel like a lot of people outside of the creative world don't know the energetic toll that it takes. Like writing takes energy, listening to music, coming up with, like, it's all energy. So like building that muscle. So we've done tons and tons of things with the whole core crew, Damon, Andrew, Atticus, Kim, and these are people who like actively work in voice. Like Atticus does McDonald's commercials in 2 languages. Like these are people who like have actual voiceover careers.
I've got to step my game up.
Yeah, like facts.
I might learn me another language. French ain't getting me.
And so all of so we're making things, and then man, I want to say it was 2021, I got frustrated with all of it. I'm like, this is a lot of work. This is hard. Obviously, the pandemic was happening. And so I stopped. I didn't make anything for 8 months, like January to whatever 8 months is, because I'm not good at math. Maybe October.
A little bit September.
It's close enough. Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, there you go. It's close enough.
Didn't make anything for 8 months. And I was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm going to try and be practical. That didn't work, obviously. And so I came back. But when I came back into it, I'm like, okay, I have a much clearer idea of what this is going to be, what it's going to cost. So we made a bunch of shows last year, different episodes, pushing into, fantasy, God, science fiction. Obviously, there's the growing conversation in the community of like, we want to see Black actors, particularly voice acting, play characters who are not like the Black character. But like, can't you just be like an orc or a warrior or something? Like anybody. Like the fact that Joker is traditionally only played by white people doesn't make sense to me. Anybody can play Joker if you could do a scary voice. The voice behind it doesn't have to be white. You know what I mean?
Do not dare me. I've done it already.
and same with Batman. I mean, like, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Obviously, he's forever the Batman. But I've heard people who are excellent Batman. Damon Allens is actually one of them. So we make all these things. And so last year, I was like, okay, I got a handle on this. We did, I don't know, 4 or 5 different shows last year, maybe like 6. And so I was like, I want to open this up. And this was always kind of the dream, keeping the very long story short. I was like, I want to open this up. And so I want to do an anthology. I want to partner with people who want to play in this space, who people from our community would recognize. And so that's partly why we partner with London, who's History of the Batman. It's like the biggest Batman account on social media. We have Sabine, who I recently met at the Wakanda Forever premiere. And she doesn't have like a huge following, but she's just nice. But she does, she goes to stuff, and she was excited. And when I reached out to her, because she's Muslim, I was like, look, in the conversation about Black and brown inclusion, usually Muslims are left out. That's not usually what we think. And so I was like, I know you, I met you in person already. So like, I would love for you to be a part of this. My sister's in it. She debuted a Wonder Soka, which is a cosplay, which is like Wonder Woman and Soka like put together. And she
nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Demetrius, obviously,
Yes.
Hellspawn, with the blurred and powerful thing. He was actually the first person I reached out to. I was like, yo, we're on the same trajectory here, except I've got some entertainment stuff already happening. So like, let's partner. He's like, yes, I'm with it. And so yeah, so that's where we're at. And I was like, okay, I'll do this series, the show called Triumphant, a 9-episode superhero anthology that is not the typical mainstream fanfare. It's like we're really playing with what the superhero genre can be. So like even like the 3rd episode is a horror. The challenge I got from one of my friends was like, can you do like a Teen Titans Jason mix? And I was like,
That sounds interesting.
Oh yeah.
That sounds interesting.
On a couple of episodes, there are sentient planets. And so like, what do you do when the planet wants to eat the kids? So it's things like that. Like we're really like, let's play with all the nuances of superheroes. And so yes, I have my core cast of actors I work with. Yes, I have the people I'm partnering with. Chris is one of them. But I'm like also like I feel like the model that we're in now is like there's room for everyone, and so I tell everyone, it's like there's no budget. We're not there yet. There's no budget. But if you want to play, if you want to be a voice actor in a professional sounding production alongside professional voice actors or just faces that you recognize, like, why not? Like, come play. There are characters. They're short, so it's like 6 to 8 minutes. So I tell people, or it's on the casting information, is like it'll be between like 15 to 55 seconds of dialogue, just because the episodes are so short. But like, you'll be credited in the credits, and you can actually like play and practice and see, do you want this? Do you want to be a part of this? And I feel like I've been talking too much. So the second part,
this is your show now.
You go.
This is
the whole reason.
No spotlight, man. Go for it.
Thank you,
boo.
That means you have the people's attention.
Facts.
All right. Well, to the people, the other half of that is composing, because I was like, okay, obviously I've done all facets of it, and I don't mind. Like, it's whatever. Well, it's not whatever. It's interesting. It's great, and it's necessary. But I'm like, there are people, I'm sure, who are like, I do care about audio theater. I don't have any interest in acting, but that tragic death scene, I hear some notes. And I want to do that, because one of the things that also has been in my head for years, I'm like, I have nothing against like the legendary composers, but I'm like, it is impossible. It's impossible that there are no black and brown composers at the caliber of the movies that we hold dear. I was like, that's impossible. It's impossible.
And you know what? The only one who's coming close but still hasn't gotten over the hurdle is RZA.
Oh my God.
Oh. Yeah,
he's the only one. Like, he's worked with John Williams, but
he never really gotten a score to himself.
Yeah.
Right. And they're not trusted in projects. And so, younger, I was like, when I make it, the first thing I'll do is go to the composing schools and be like, what they doing? Because it's only going to be about 2 black and brown kids in the composing schools anyways. What's happening with them? Like, what are their skill level? But not wanting to wait that long, I was like, well, I can open it up, and anyone who's interested in scoring, even if it's a 30-second scene, just to go through the rigors of making a thing and having being a part of a production that people will listen to, that's on a platform. You now have a piece that you can include in your portfolios. Like, hey, I've made things. This is what my work sounds like, with sound effects and professional acting on top of it. I was like, I can obviously, again, like I said, I can score the whole thing, but like at this point, I don't get anything out of that. But if there are people, like one of the actors I work with one day, this is what really sealed it for me. He messaged me we did a Christmas show called Deference, which is a sci-fi show about a gunslinger, basically a bounty hunter gunslinger, who's his stepfather's family gets hit with like this biotech bomb that like poisons the ground, and it's about to poison everything. So he has to go to another planet and get their technologically advanced being to bring it back to heal the land. So like, that's the whole source of the conflict. And as soon as he finds out that his family's dead, or his stepfather's family's dead, he's like, oh, so I'm going to murk everyone. And then his mom's like, well, you can't do that. You can't do that, because we are all going to die. So you got to go get the child from Gar-9, from the other planet. And so one of the actors I work with, he's like, hey, Josh, I don't want to like impede on what you're doing. This is your baby. But for that scene where they're having this conversation, I heard something. I was like, send it to me, man. And he sent it to me. And when I tell y'all, I was taking notes. I'm like, how did you do that? Okay, let me step my game up. And so ultimately it wasn't in there because he didn't feel like the piece was complete. But I'm like, okay, so you just need a little more working time, and then you'll be in here. But I'm like, he's not the only one. I was like, there have got to be others out there. So I don't know if people will submit an audition. I'm hoping so, but I'm like, the most I can do at this point is just provide the opportunity. And there's such a wide array. There's like horror stuff. If you want to do like a superhero theme, a villain theme, an anti-hero theme, just general like a war theme, because there is a war episode. Like, there's just options. So yeah, and that's how we're here today.
Nice.
Well, it looks like we're going to be doing a lot of work. And I'm all for it. Being an inspiring voice actor. So it ain't just the entertainment thing I'm working at.
Yeah, hey,
Gotta have steps. So I'm glad that you touched on introducing Black and brown people in the spaces that aren't normally considered normal, and we're trying to break that glass ceiling. So I'm glad you mentioned that because one, that's what this platform's about, and two, it's something that's really taking precedent in mainstream media. We're seeing it. We've seen it in shows like you literally, and Will, you might have to get a tally mark for this one. We've seen it like in Lovecraft Country, which is a perfect example because what was it, 10 episodes? Each episode had a different form of genre in it. And who were the leads? Black and brown people. You know, and it was some of the best stuff. Matter of fact, I can't remember what else was on television at that time. I really can't, because like the show would air Sunday, people was talking about it all week, and they're just waiting for the next episode. So it's not a factor of, well, we don't know if you have interesting stories. Like, oh no, we have interesting stories. You just aren't willing to listen to them. So why don't we do this? Why don't we kick that door open and tell our own and make you? Like, you can if you want. You don't necessarily have to, but there's other avenues, because see, now others like ourselves who are in these different spaces, they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm an executive over here at this television network, or I'm a music composer over here. I'm a music teacher over here, and I deal with, I know people that was that's connected, and they look like us, and they're saying, hey, let's do this. Let's give this kid a chance. Just like you said, you went to the composing school, you see these little black and brown kids, and you're like, what are they doing? You know, I want to give them the shot. You know, so I really appreciate when you say stuff like that, because not everyone knows about the animators, the voice actors, the music composers. Like I mentioned, RZA. It's just, the bounds are endless, because we have such a massive amount of talent, and as we all know, the minute we get our hands on something,
it becomes
run the ball. Run the ball, baby. Run the ball.
Yeah. Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
So, Kira, did you have anything?
I mean, aside from I want to play, I that, like, though you took the words like out of my mouth. I've been saying that for years. I was listening to a few of your stories when I could at work. I couldn't finish them. And I put this on my IG story. I am a story whore. I will do anything for a story, and that you got me. You got, like, whatever you put out, I am checking for now on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Okay. Like, I do not say that lightly. I will tell you as many like multi Avatar movies that I really have shit on that don't have a story. But they get paid. Okay?
Jesus.
I do not care.
Kira just had that one in the chamber. Kira had that one in the chamber. Just
that's because I unloaded like a couple of weeks ago. So
thank you.
Yeah, no, I need you, but everybody needs you. Okay.
I appreciate it. Can I add one thing to that?
Yeah, please.
So yeah, in line with what you're like saying, like kick the door down, right? Obviously Octavia Butler's having her time now with like Kindred, and I think Fledgling is in development. There's a lot of stuff happening, but what sticks out to me about her is that, you know, in the 80s, all the stuff that she was writing about is pretty much stuff that's happening now and like a little bit beyond. And so that really pushed me from the writer creator standpoint. I'm like, it's easy to, and I want to be very like careful. So number one, I never fault any black or brown person for getting their money. You got to do what you got to do. So I never fault anyone for that. But I'm like, what do the stories look like when the primary opposition is not based on race? what other struggles, what story, what can we do there? Where it's not like, oh, and then we learned that Black people were harmless. Like, what if it's not that? What if it's not like, oh, and the bandana's going down the street, but it's a white person on the side, or we taught this white man how to rap. Like, what if it's not racial? What if that's not the core problem? Then what can we look at? And to me, those are the chances to really like dig into the heart of all of it all, which is really power. It's really power, greed and racism, all that. It's really power. So now we can tell real stories. We were talking about how people who have power and how they use it to affect other people. And then boom, we can do that in a fantasy setting, a doctor setting, a science fiction setting.
Yep.
And so my commitment is to do that. And without giving too much away, if people listen to the past episodes and even with the stuff that's coming, they will hear references to these different pulses, like, oh, this happened after the 4th pulse, oh, this happened after the 5th pulse. And it's because all this stuff is baby steps to a major thing that is being built over time. So every single episode is strategic. At this point, every single show we put out is a brick in a particular, very focused, concentrated direction. Because I'm like, there will always be people who tell the race-based stories and slavery and
the trauma porn. Yeah.
People trying to disguise the slave story as like a victory story, but we're still a slave.
Right. Like what you want. Man, listen.
So, but it's like I want to push beyond that, and I want to do it in a way that's not arguing. I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to say, "Hey, we should." Nope. I just want to give you. Hey, I want to give people. I want the reaction that you had. I want people to get it and be like, "Oh, I was thirsty for this."
Yes.
I thought it was that, and I thought it was that, but it was this that I was thirsty for. Because I feel like until something new is introduced, no one has a reason to even try. And again, wanting to give specifically Black and brown people, and just groups who don't get opportunities. I want them to have a space to come and play and really like get to be 7 again. When you see like He-Man or whatever and the monsters and it's like, oh, or Gundam or whatever. And it's just like, oh, what a cool world. I want people to step into the stuff that I do and be like, what a cool world.
Josh, have you tried any Ancestry.com or 23andMe's? Because we related. Like, I'm not even. There's no way that we on the same wavelength this much. Okay, like you in my head. I see your thoughts. You see mine. It's a thing. It's got to be genetic. It can't be.
I'll ask Grant. We're supposed to have a family reunion this year, so if I see you, then
listen.
That makes sense now.
Them branches intersect somewhere around them Jenkins.
It always comes back to the Jenkins. I don't
always them Jenkins.
Oh my God! So I don't know. I was going to say Will B, but both of you got to have. Well, so we'll start Black Fox. We'll go there.
I really got to change my name to something else. I had to figure that out. Otherwise, me and Will B may have to actually duel with Kiara refereeing. But
ooh, nice.
Use knives. No, seriously. No, Josh. As a person that I love what you're doing as far as your concept goes, because usually most of the stuff that I see people do in that case, like you said, for me it's a big thing because I'm with you and what Demetrius and everybody else. It's all about representation. It's nice to see somebody else to kind of join the parade here because we're all saying the same thing. When it comes to writing, creation, production, composing. You mentioned composing, and I thought about that. I said, dang, I don't know. He's right. I can't think of any. I can think of some composers in the opera side, but that's counting on three fingers versus everywhere else. Yeah. And so that's why I was gonna say, you kind of had that same thing. It's like when you brought back 7 years old. I'm like, yeah, we always wanted to be He-Man or Mr. T or
Voltron, anything like
Voltron, anything.
Yeah.
And the beauty part about this, and this is why I can't stop bragging about, I love, and Rice Cake Warriors, get mad at me if you want to, but there is one thing that we have that I love seeing in everybody else, is the fact that you can take something that is imagination and make it reality. That we have this ability to where, like Chris, for instance. I mean, the man literally sounds like an evil villain. All he is missing is the black chair and the black jacket and the fat white cat. That's really all he's missing at this point.
I got my Pirate King jacket. I just don't have a white cat.
Oh well, you can't be Luffy, but you can be Whitebeard.
Ooh,
no, you can be. Let me shut up. That's all I'm saying. But
whatever
what
you
I'm
want to
saying is, I had to think about it. I said you couldn't be Luffy, you can't be Whitebeard, but you could actually. You know what? I'm sorry, Josh. As you can tell, I get really distracted.
Oh, good. I'm with you.
I get really distracted on tangents. I apologize, but no. It's just seeing where you came up with this, because that was really gonna be my question. Like, I know a lot of people love to actually tell these type of stories, but the fact that you just don't stick with boundaries, which I like. The fact that you go with different things, like you talk about how certain groups of people out there look at us and all they can think of, they just put us in these boxes. Your slaves, your athletes, your R&B singers, your gangsters, you're this, you're that. But it's never been, what if you're a brilliant scientist that's misunderstood? What if you are an astrophysicist that just might have messed with time a little bit? What if what if you've created a certain chemical that actually creates immortality? Those types of storylines right there, where a single idea takes on a life of its own. That life creates a universe. That universe brings in people. It's rare to hear that, if that makes sense. And I love hearing that kind of stuff, because that just means that somebody had it in their mind to come up with. But that's the reason why I want to give you props, because I just like seeing that, because it always has to start with somebody just being using their imagination and going, well, shit, why can't we do that?
Basically. Yeah.
In other words, a dream with action can be made in reality.
Yeah.
However, if nothing is done with that said dream, it's just only a wish.
There you go.
And damn, did I just do my own villainous?
You just already just come around with the fat. Just come around with the fat cat and just be like, so you have a dream.
I got, what? I got baby Grogu back here. Maybe I can use him.
Chris, I'm going to Petco on your behalf, and I'm finding
don't you dare
the whitest white cat that I can get sent to you.
I will.
If you could find one of those white Furbies, that would be perfect.
But it's got to be that. It can't be that Siamese cat, the hairless one. No. He's got to have the one that looks menacing but fluffy.
Yeah. Sit him up. Start the next show. I'm just turn around.
You just gotta give him a name. You just have to give him a name. You have to give him a name that nobody expects.
Right.
Cleophas.
No.
There it is.
Cat's name is Cleophas.
Cleophas Jenkins. It always comes back to the Jenkins.
Carnivorous Jenkins. There we go. Come for Carnivorous Jenkins. Carnivorous. Why is he carnivorous? Because he's a cannibal.
I'm opposed. Deeply opposed.
That's so good.
Cinematic Assassin, what you got?
Unlike Kira, I might not want to play in front of the mic. However, audio engineer by original trade. If you need some help, just offloading some of that work as far as mixing, mastering, so on and so forth.
This is the sign of my villainy. Damn it, I know how to put stuff together, and it just falls in place, and I'm just like, a plan. It just takes a plan. Follow the plan.
You, sir, are the master of chaos. I'm telling you, run with it. With carnivorous.
I mean, hey, bro, I will say I'm the person. I tell people don't say that, because I am the person to follow up and be like, hey, man, do you want to mix all of this? I just don't want to think about
Listen, short aside about me. I am definitely that dude that has been in the music studio and is like, nah, that beat is like a micro eighth off. And I will sit there for 8 hours. Everybody's listening. I was like, No, now it's perfect. Okay, now we can move on.
Yeah.
Like, I am that guy.
Okay,
Cool.
that's good. I see. So, and that's something I don't get to talk about with a lot of people because it's like I tell my mom it's like hundreds of hours. She's like, "Why?" It's like because I'm listening to the same part over and over, and it's like I said, it's off just by like a mutt, and I can't explain it. I just know that I gotta keep zooming in, move it, cut.
Right.
There it is.
Because
And
when
then
it
I
happens, you
like,
feel it. You know.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, welcome on board.
It's literally, I swear to God, it's literally how I do reads when I line up stuff for the show. Is just I need this to lead into here because if I put this first, it might turn into something else. I need that to go last.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, is like the one thing that's always misunderstood is music placement in either movies or television. And you hit the nail on the head. Like you and Will both hit the nail on the head. It's like if it's a second off or a second early, it doesn't get that intended emotional effect. I mean, we all could name multiple movies and scenes where if it wasn't for a certain piece of music, it doesn't hit as hard. So no, I mean, you guys are exactly right. I mean, it's okay to obsess over that because that can really make or break really anything.
Yeah.
Jack of Spades was right. Every hero needs his own theme music. Peter Griffin hit the nose on the head or hit the nail on the head. Walk around with your it just works. Take your favorite scene and switch out the music.
Oof.
No.
I couldn't. It's either gonna make it sound horrible or you're gonna crack up laughing.
Yeah.
No, because it wouldn't work in the Avengers. Could you imagine if the Avengers was placed with Benny Hill music?
Oh my God, shut up.
Why was I just
did you
looking
go
at
there?
that?
Why was it immediately Benny Hill?
Because think about it. The only music, when you think the Avengers, it has to be something uplifting, engaging. It has to give you that fight. You know why? What Avengers music is what Little John music is in Atlanta. If it does not hype you up, you will not move. It doesn't. If it's not hype, it won't make you move.
That final scene, if it wasn't as dramatic as it was, it wouldn't have had the same notes.
Right.
It just wouldn't. Like when he pulls that, when everything looked like it was going straight to shit,
and the cutoff,
and then that hammer comes to Cap. Nobody was expecting that.
No, that's true.
But the score sold it.
Yeah,
it was just like, we happy Cap got that hammer, but that score
it led
gives you that emotional note.
Especially when the portals came in and it's that one cutoff moment, and the radio static, and then you just had that periodic moment of silence. And I love those.
That slow bleed in from the violins coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I mean, also the other, honorable mention, like Return of the Sith. You couldn't have, unless you had that operatic music kicking in, it doesn't have that same effect.
Yeah.
Especially if you notice, like the music kind of went low and you can hear that little dramatic violin, and of course goes with the actors, the whole time. You are my brother, Anakin. Violins playing in the background.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't have that same. I mean,
it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like what you, Josh, and what you, Will, were saying. It's like, imagine if that wasn't there, would it have the same intended effect? Just like Lovecraft Country heavily used music in a lot of their scenes. And again, without them or without their timing and without the breaks, it just doesn't have the same hits.
Yeah. These are facts. I mean, and I definitely think, like, is to the question of how did I get here? Everything you make isn't great. And I'll be the first one to say that. Some stuff questionable. Not everything gets aired. But that's one of the things that I learned, almost like in a comic book, like a writer learning to write with an artist. Even though I was the one doing the music, it changed the way I wrote. Because I'm like, okay, I don't need to say all this because music's going to be here talking to the audience for me. Now I need less dialogue, which means this dialogue can now be punched up. And then we're going to have the music talking, and then we can go to the next scene. So absolutely, I completely am with that.
But Chris is a voice actor. Kira actually doing it. I can see Kira just in an evil, alluring Catwoman kind of thing.
Oh.
I'm
Kiera.
sorry. I'm
Kiera.
sorry. I get
It's just when you say that because I
I've
can
been
see
very
Kiera doing that.
I've been very polite. I've been very polite.
I can
Y'all
see
have
Kiera
not
doing
have
that.
not heard any of the things that I have done. Believe me when I tell you.
Okay,
Yeah, Catwoman I could do
we're just gonna put under Kira various roles. We'll need to listen to voice first.
Yes. No, because and see, like I've heard Kira do a couple voices and it just works over well. You know, so when it's funny when you mention Catwoman, Will, I remember when Harley Quinn was kicking off and they announced, oh, Sanaa Lathan's gonna be Catwoman. And I'm like, oh, I can hear sultry. You know, and what do we get? Sultry and unbothered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Laying on a couch dripped in diamonds and not and just grooming herself. Like that's all I picture whenever I
being putty in her hand. I'm like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm not mad because I mean I wouldn't have been as much as a simp as he was, but still.
You say that.
Well, this is true because it's like the way she was coming at him, like
you say that, Chris. You say that now.
I say that now, but
you say it now. Kira just be darling.
Hey, after that.
Yeah, right. But it worked. It really did. It worked over well. It's like you just can't get anybody to do any kind of voice because it's a certain level. It's something that they're looking for out of that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you like hearing that voice and you're just like, yeah, Kevin Conroy, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. You know, has there been other ones? Yes, they're just as good, but Kevin Conroy was doing it for over 20 plus years. So we had gotten used to hearing that gruff and that in your face and I don't care what's happening. And you know, that hearing that whole thing, and you're just like, this works. This absolutely works. You know, so now it looks like Jensen Ackles is taking a role. You know, he's going to be doing this is be a third round of doing Batman. So, you know, who knows? Sometimes what was the I can't remember which animated series it was, but they had a different actor doing Joker's voice, and he sound nothing like what we were expecting from Mark Hamill.
Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
Was it that one?
Yep.
It was okay. It was it was Brave and the Bold. Yeah, it was. It was Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, because nobody talks about that one.
Yeah, it was
not for the right reasons.
Yeah, right. But you know, hearing that, even hearing that, even in Under the Red Hood, the Joker we had there, hard. We're just like, man, I'm not.
It's a little itchy.
It's there, but at the
it's
same
not
time, you know, and it was just like, okay, well, maybe it's because the tone of the film just works different.
But there's also another caveat to that too, because that's another thing I want to ask Josh about, because I dabble in story writing a little bit. I don't really consider myself, you know, polished. So I wanted to ask you, as far as when you're writing and your creative process, do you like, some people kind of take storytelling in the same way a comedian tells jokes. Like some of them kind of have a slow build up. Some of them have layers. Some of them speak from a perspective. Some of them speak from a grand linear timeline kind of telling. So do you find yourself as far as a variable type when you're writing stories, or do you sit on an idea, you let it marinate, and then, or do you just free write where you just immediately think, you know, when you have an idea, you put pen to paper and anything that comes to mind, you just go with?
I'd say a little bit of all the above, but definitely was a journey. So in the beginning, at Star Wars kid, I watched the original trilogy when I was 7. So that completely informed my storytelling sensibilities. Because even at 7, I was like, so I didn't know this is not what every 7-year-old was thinking. I'm like, you can tell these kinds of stories with this complicated family dynamic. You got this like religious side. You got like space. Like you can do this in what? And so as an adult, everything that I was writing, I was trying to do that. Okay. I was trying to make it like a blockbuster epic. So there was not much variable because I was always trying to hit like the epic note, right? And so, but that would also be mixed with like kind of like the whimsical writing. It's like, oh, I just get just writing off the inspiration because I'm a genius. That. Then you make stuff, and this is another reason why I want people to audition, because even in the article, I'm like, even if you don't have good equipment, don't let that stop you. I want you to audition. Let me decide if it's useful or not. Because truth be told, I had someone audition, but I had someone in the show before who had poor equipment. It was a little fuzzy, and so I just put the scene in the rain, and then you can't tell. Right. So I'm like, let me be the judge of that. I want everyone to be a part, because what I learned through doing it and hearing it, and it's like, I missed. And when you get to that point of like, I missed, for me anyways, it forced me to think about, okay, well, what was I aiming for? Because I told myself I was aiming for this, but clearly something in me was aiming for another mark.
Gotcha.
And so then over time, it became variable. And so it got to the point where it's like, okay, I have the idea, and then I'm super analytical. And so I overanalyze every idea now. So is this a full story? Is this a piece of a story? Is this more of a backstory? Is this a callback? Is this a flashback? Like, I try to figure out, what is this, again, with like music, what does this feel like? And then once I get to that point and I'm writing the stories, at this point now, I try to I do the draft version, it's the free write, like, okay, this is, get it all out. And then I go through and start picking it apart. But I'm picking it apart, trying to figure out, how does this story want to be told? Like, what kind of story is it? Even with the anthology, there was one story, it's the one that London's in, History of the Batman. I was writing it. I did like 4 or 5 different drafts. I'm like, this is just it's not it. And I was at work one day and I'm thinking about it. I was like, oh, it's a war story. And like, I had a lot of dialogue and a lot of other stuff, but like, it's a war story. So it's constant pulse pounding. There's stuff happening in the background. Everyone's in a frantic state. And once I turned that corner, I was like, oh, then it was easier to write.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how it is now, where I'm trying to like write, like, okay, what is it? What piece of the story is it? Is it a full story? Is it a character? And sometimes it's like, I have no idea. So I just put it in my notes and maybe I'll reach back to it later.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes complete sense.
I can understand when you say that, because it's always that moment when you're not in it that you finally get it. You can be engulfed in that project and just like, okay, this is not fitting this piece. I'm not sure why. And like, by design it should. And it's not until you say, let me step away for a second. Let me go do this 9 to 5 or something. And it's in that moment where you're away from the project or whatever it is, and it hits you. You're just like, it was that simple. And it was that simple.
Inspiration hits always hits at the weirdest times. So I will say, I agree with you on that. You could be practically anywhere and then be just like, oh, that was it.
All time.
I'm gonna quote Charlie Murphy. I'm gonna quote Charlie Murphy from one of his comedy albums, and he says, men go to the bathroom, and that's our time for reflection. Think about the events of the day, and I had to think about it. I'm like,
that's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
Nothing wrong with thinking at the office. Thinking at the office.
Like, porcelain just does something. It brings it out of you.
That came out wrong.
just something about porcelain and Charmin that just brings it all together.
Oh my God.
Bring it back here.
I mean, I was about to say, well, wait a minute, the shower is a pretty good idea too.
It happens. Yes. It's in those moments. It's in those moments that you realize, wow. Whether you're a cosplayer, whether you're a voice actor, a writer, or whatever it is you're doing, and it's giving you that block.
You got to walk away.
That's when you have to walk away. You're like, okay, you might need a day. I know a couple comic writers. They're like, there's times where we're writing a story, and something's not clicking. Something's just not happening. But then I step away for maybe couple of days, maybe a week, you know,
Mhm.
and then it hits me. And you're like, okay, this is how I need this to be. There's a reason, like what I wanted it to be may not turn, just like you said, you was taking the story one way and it just kept hitting that wall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's not it. It's a war story.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So-
And that's definitely one of the things I learned over the last couple of years is like it's another level of taking the ego out of the work, because ego says this is going to be what I told it to be. And it's like, well, no, I want it to be good.
Man plans, God laughs.
Yeah, right. It's like I got to take the ego out and be like, okay, I may have put this in motion, but now
Mhm.
you got to tell me what are you? How do you need to? I can shape it. I got the skills to do that, but like what are you? You really got to develop that
Mhm.
that ear to listen.
Mhm.
For so yeah, it's
How long did it?
Yeah.
You said you've been doing it since 2020, right? Since the purge.
yeah
of
the audio
pandemic.
theater stuff
The
specifically.
before
Yeah.
four times.
Yes. So you've obviously had a passion for the fiction part of it. Like, what other projects do you have coming up, lined up, or passion projects, I should say? Because I know there's always a passion project that you just like.
Or
I'm
what-
going to tackle you in a way.
Mhm.
or what's closest to being done?
That's the better way of saying it.
Yeah.
Well, Triumphant is closest to being done, I would say. Like, there's only like a couple things that need to be written, but those episodes don't air until like April. So I gave myself a little like writing wiggle room. Yeah, things I learned. Josh needs time. Josh needs time. And even what you're saying about needing to walk away, that was another thing that I learned, like energetically, because before in the ego of it, it's like, no, like I'm smart, I'm capable, I'm a writer. Like, how come it's not coming? And then the stress and the anxiety and all the mental health stuff like
Right.
flares up.
Mm.
As opposed to now, like I can catch it. It's like, oh, I noticed I haven't gone back to that in a couple days. It's not because I don't think I can do it. And I recognize when I take a break before I knew to consciously take a break. But yeah, Triumphant is the closest to being done. I have a kids show, Primera Source Tells. It's like an audio harkening back to like it's like Miss Frizzle and all that, but it's for kids in car rides, parents concerned with screen time, but still want the kids to be engaged. So it's 3 dinosaurs, primary colored, and they have like a mystical guide, and then they have like these adventures, and basically it teaches kids how to be good people. And then there's fun songs, like there's a potty time rap. So
Hey,
we did.
they need a potty time, right?
They do.
I'm just saying. Yeah, so we did 3 episodes last year, and so sometime over the next month we're gonna do the 4th episode. So that's also upcoming. Because we're also planning to go to KidsCon this year, which is like the big place for kids. It's con for kids. So there's that. The Star Wars project, which kicked all this off, you know, again, playing with black and brown characters. I was like, well, Mace Windu never actually died.
He did not.
No.
We never saw a body.
Nope.
Nobody.
Nobody.
You're not the one of the baddest Jedis out there, and you get the slip.
Right.
You went out the window.
Can't
I'm
take
like,
Sam Jackson out that easy.
No.
Even
Sam Jackson wants to come back. So
so I put together like a whole lore, and this was the first thing I called it Jedi Shadow Force. So I was like, okay, thinking from the perspective of a black person. I was like, there's no way Mace Windu was sitting on that council and thinking like, these white people got it as far as the galaxy. There's no way.
I love this already.
I
love this already.
I'm like, more than in my version of what happened, he's got his boy back on his home planet. He's like, yo, we need to do our own Jedi Shadow Force to kind of cover the outskirts of the galaxy that the Central Jedi Order is missing because they're so mired up in politics, they're not even paying attention to what's happening out there.
In other words, you know what? We need to do something because these they tripping. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. No.
As I put myself in the shoes, I was like, what would Sam Jackson really be thinking right now? So Jedi Shadow Force that's like the backdrop, and so it picks up with the grandson of his friend, and like his crew. And so the grandson had his parents, like they disappeared. So he was looking for them, got ambushed. And so the first season is them finding him. But then once they retrieve him, he reveals that he had been contacted by what I call a messenger, basically like an angel in the force, that Mace Windu is alive. And he wants them to come and help him escape. So basically, in my head, he has self-preserved himself all these years. And he just needs a little help coming all the way back. So the first season is them finding the grandson of the friend, Shinruk. And the second, so learning. I never thought I would talk about this publicly. So last year we did a season 2, right? Did season 2, and I kept listening back to it, and I was like, this ain't it. Fully produced, music, voice acting, all of it. Released the episodes on YouTube, and I was like, this ain't it. Like, I don't know where I was, but I was not where I needed to be. And so I told the crew, I was like, hey, we're not famous. So pretty much only like 3 people have listened to this. So we're just going to delete all of that.
I swear to God. I have my Mandalore podcast. That is where I'm at right now. I'm like, I don't hate it, but it ain't it. Ain't it. Oh, I could do better.
And you always know. You always know. And so sometimes something can be salvaged. Because I thought about that. I was like, okay, I'll just use season 3 to correct the missteps of season 2. But then I thought about what Disney's been doing with Star Wars. That don't work.
No.
I'm not gonna lie though. That idea, you should, if you ever get the chance to pitch it, you really should. I
would love to. That would be a dream. I
mean, number one, just because we got screwed on Star Wars on the
last trilogy, we got screwed.
We got screwed on that one, but
we got stories that should have been rectified, and we never got them.
Yeah, but just your idea and your take on Mace Windu and what happens after post Revenge of the Sith, I'm like, if I were you. Which I'm pretty sure you have meticulously, from what I'm gathering from this, you have meticulously went over this, probably still went over this.
Yeah.
Then went to McDonald's, came back, and then looked at this again. And then you're like, because to me, I'm just like, you should pitch that. If you ever get the chance to pitch
it just hit me because the story you're telling.
Yeah. It would fit.
Shinruk would be John Boyega because he doesn't know his name.
Ding ding.
It absolutely would be. And to what you're saying, it also plays upon the idea of Black generational wealth, because Shinruk's story comes generations after. We're in a post Return of the Jedi world, which also means that it's not, there are multiple groups basically. So the Jedi Shadow Force is a bunch of Black and brown families and cousins and friends and stuff, all out in the galaxy, taking care of business.
This is where Lando goes when we don't see him for a while.
Man.
Right.
That's how he ended up with that daughter out of nowhere.
Yeah, just like
Lando found some other Black forces to get lost into. But
he said, I was like, ain't too many of us out here. Where were you born?
Right. I love that Billy D only has one note though, because even though that was supposed to be his daughter, he was still given like smooth, oily Billy D. I was like,
turn it off.
I'm like, I don't think he's flirting with her, but it's hard to tell because it's Billy D.
Billy D came out the womb flirting. Let's just be honest.
Hey, that's true. The
perfect. Like, I was just talking about eating an apple. What y'all getting all riled up for?
I just wanted to share this apple because just like many things in life, it has to be shared with someone you love. Wait a minute.
Like when we walking down the aisle, I'm like, I just asked you want apples, right? Are you hungry? I'm just giving you. I'm just saying. I have enough.
Could you imagine having a conversation with Billy D like that? I'm just trying to tell you, share it with the one you love. Mother, I just asked for half an apple.
I'm hungry.
I didn't ask for a life lesson.
Right. I love it. But yes. So it's primary source sales, Jedi Shadow Force. That's so season 2, the new season 2. Is supposed to happen in May. That's upcoming. Which I just like doing it. Also, it also gives, like, again, Black and brown people chances to be the pilot, the Jedi, the muscle Jedi, the tech person. Even again, one of the dudes, Atticus. I'm like, I love D. Bradley Baker, and I like the idea of what he can do, like vocally. The fact that he's the entire Bad Batch is insane to me.
Yeah.
Mike, how?
Which I didn't even know. I had to see that. I was like, wait, what? This is not 5 different people? What is happening? What is happening?
You're just like,
not
oh, this
even
boy
counting
good,
like
this boy
Rex.
good.
I'm just like, but I'm like, again, it's impossible. It's impossible that there are not Black and brown people that can do that. And Atticus, I was like, all right, dude, I need you to be on your D. Bradley Baker. He's a Filipino dude. He's like, I got it. And so I did, they're called like raised clones. So it's like it's cybernetic technology essentially. And he does these two in conversation with each other. And it's just off enough that it sounds like two different people. I'm like, oh, this is so good. But when will we ever? And he's Filipino. I was like, dude, I don't want you to do your American accent. Like, you have you speak Tagalog. Like, use your accent, because again, when are Filipinos being invited to use what they naturally sound like? And obviously, every Filipino doesn't have an accent. This is not that. But for those who do, usually you're asked to wash that out.
Yeah, be your authentic self, right?
Yeah. And he was like, and so his response to me was like, thank you. Because he had never been asked to do that outside of like the commercial, but he'd never been asked to do that as a character. So anyway, so primary source sales, Jedi Shadow Force. This summer I have a giant saga happening, and there will be another round of casting calls for that. Yeah, I could talk about that. So essentially, the premise for
all the gold.
That was a quick,
that was
the quickest legality lawyer check in history. It's like, yeah, I can talk about it.
But yeah, basically the premise is it's a planet, and at this point, I'm looking at my wall notes. It's after a particular pulse, I will say that much. And so it's gods, magic wielders, superheroes, and regular people. And essentially the god, think like a Mount Olympus type thing. And so they're too close, and it's causing a toxic environment for the non-divine characters. But because they are gods, they are arrogant. And they're like, y'all ain't getting sick because of us. Y'all getting sick because of y'all. And so the conclusion, we must kill the gods. And so the Summer Saga is this war between them all. And that's where I'll end it. It goes a lot of extra places. That's like what I just told y'all. What I just told y'all is like half of the setup intro. That's not even going to be an episode. That's just half of like the scroll. That's like half the yellow scroll going up.
Prologue.
And yeah,
that's it. It's about half
prologue. We just got the prologue.
Yeah. So that's gonna be like a 9 episode-ish thing. Yeah, those are the main ones. And then there's gonna be some holiday stuff. I try to do like the holidays, like there'll be another Halloween show, and like a Thanksgiving week show. And actually, for so I did a Kwanzaa show 3 years ago, because 6 years ago. I was like, how come no one is like adapting Kwanzaa outside of like the one Proud Family episode that did Kwanzaa?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never seen it, but like Santa Claus gets all these derivatives and you can play with the mythology. And so we did. I adapted the Kwanzaa like principles, and it's like immortal visiting the deities of Kwanzaa, learning these lessons. So I listened to that. I was like, all right, that wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad first thing. But then, again, reading Octavia Butler and like really trying to push my brain, I was like, what if the Kwanzaa stories were given the science fiction touch? What does that look like in a futuristic sci-fi space setting? What is that Kwanzaa series?
The things that we can do.
Oh, I like that.
And so that's what I'm in development on now for December.
Look, Will's just like, look.
That's
Will's just
cool.
like, it's such a
Oh, no, I like that because it can go
You can do a
it
lot.
can go into so many avenues because you really actually, not to put a label on it, it's like another Lovecraft Country if you think about it. If you're going that direction and that storytelling and that type of, which again, all great, just because number one, you're entertaining as well as you're educating. At the same time, you're taking fantasy with it. So that's the reason I was just like, I had my mouth wide. I'm like, yo, if you did it that way, I hate to be like old boy in that meme, but bruh. That's all I can say. But no, that's a great concept. It really is.
Thank you. So those are like the main storytelling things I have upcoming. And then do I have anything else? I think that's primarily it. I'm a poet as well, so I have like some poetry stuff. So I live in Pasadena, which is where the school that got renamed after Octavia Butler is. So I have some work upcoming with them. There's a bookstore that's opening named after Octavia. So I have some poetry stuff also on the horizon that I can't talk about yet. But
see, this brother is, and this is what I love about us. We are so multifaceted that it's insane. And we look, and especially a creative, a POC creative, they're just like, there's always something in the tank consistently. There's just, you may not be working on it right now, but it's there, it's brewing because it's just something else going on. And this is what I love about creating this platform, because I'm like, there's other people who love this geek sphere stuff, and we're blurds, and we can tell stories, we can write music, we can do just about anything. The minute our mind is on it, it's just like, you know what? Let me do this. And it's literally, let me do this, and then, and here it is. Here, let me go. I want to be in NASCAR. You can't be in that. Watch me.
Why not? Who said?
I just need a different guy than Bubba. I need a different name than Bubba.
You're so used to seeing the Rush. You're so used to seeing the Russian ballerinas and everything else. Wait a minute, hold up, we got you. Now here come three of them, right? Three sisters, right out the gate.
Oh man, I can't wait for the male gymnastics. Once we drop that stigma, they're gonna be mad at us.
Oh,
they're gonna be mad at us.
It's like, is there nothing they can't do? No, it's not. We helped send y'all to the moon. There ain't nothing we can't do.
We sent y'all to the moon, and we gave y'all all the music you enjoyed, and the best food you've ever had. Like you're right.
We brought you. Y'all may have given us wild animals. We brought you seasoning.
Hey,
exactly.
Game over.
That's it.
Game over.
That's it. Oh man. So before we get out of here, Josh, my guy, you have to tell everybody where they can find you and where they can go to sign up for this audition.
Yes. Okay, the shout out portion. So before I do that, I would be completely remiss without shouting out my crew. And I asked them if I could say this. I was like, y'all sure? They're like, yeah. So self-dubbed the Wu-Tang of voiceover. But I stand by it. They're all dope. But I would not be anywhere without them being like, Josh will ride with you. And I'm like, y'all didn't have to. So the first person is Damon Allums. A lot of this is him. He's really pushed me. Like, nah, he's a straight, the older black guy energy. Straight shooter. You got this is it. I'm not impressed. You have more. You're better than this. I'll be back. So Damon Allums, voice actor. He's at Urban Legend VO. We have Kimberly Bonney, just fantastic, versatile actor, stage actor too, at Lantern VO. Atticus Batakin, who I can't talk enough about, at Real Voice Bender. Andrew Lander, who actually started off just doing commercial. He's like, I don't voice act. I was like, okay. And now just his growth is bananas. But if y'all listen to the Tales of First Magic, he's the villain in that. He's the angel who turns in that one. And his performance just gets creepier and creepier. I'm like, see, this is acting. On my Uncle Phil. But yes, Andrew Lander at Andrew Lander VO. Miles Sands, young cat. He's like 22, but his so hanging out with voice actors, you hear things that you're not fans of. I discovered that I have a high voice. Never knew that. I got around the voice actors like, yeah, man, everyone wants you. Your voice is high. I said, excuse me? What are you talking about? Like,
Show hands off me.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry.
The Kevin Hart did kind of kick in a little bit. I was waiting for it.
I didn't appreciate it.
I'm sorry. That was perfect.
It was. It sounded just
Miles, his at is at Daz Mighty, but his voice is like the complete opposite of mine organically. Organically, super deep, lots of like rich character. Like if you just hear the voice, you would assume that he's a veteran stage actor in his mid 40s. That's how he sounds like without trying. Like he goes in rooms and people think he's putting on a voice, but that's just how he talks.
Like Kevin Grievous.
I feel like I'll get canceled. I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He wrote he wrote Underworld. He's done some stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
He's been in Underworld. He's like the Black Werewolf in Underworld.
Oh, I know him. Yeah,
the real deep voice.
His voice is like.
Oh, and if it's who I'm thinking of, then yeah. But then he can go up to an Izuku Midoriya. He's got that kind of range.
That's range.
Okay. And he's only 22. I'm like, you don't understand what you have. It's crazy.
He hasn't even begun then to develop
it. Hasn't even begun. So yeah, definitely Miles Sands at Daz Mighty. And who might there's Bo at Bo Knows VO. Just classic, just professional. He does an incredible Morgan Freeman imitation, which is actually quite like, wow, you can really do that. He's really, really good. He's really fun. And Frankie Harrison, Mr. President, he's got like that singing range, and he can like because I feel like some people can do characters, but to take that character and sing in character, and he's one of those. He can be in character and sing in as the character in the key, and I'm just like, what is happening right now?
Nice.
Yeah, this is my crew, the Wu-Tang of voiceover. I think I got everyone. You can follow me obviously at High Form Family. If you want to listen to any of the productions we've done, just talk story to me. I think we're everywhere. It's Apple Podcasts, it's Spotify, Amazon. Just if you just Google Talk Story to Me, it should come up.
It does.
It does. Google Talk Story to Me, and that'll come up. You can listen to the episodes, and then Primera Source Tells. I want to change the name, but like I'm a slave to wordplay sometimes. Probably could have used better words there. I'm addicted to wordplay. I'm addicted to wordplay sometimes. We can edit that part out, right? We can do that.
We understand.
We're lying. It don't matter. We've ripped Scott's. Well, not we, but we.
Have a strong proclivity towards wordplay.
There we go.
You lean toward it in a very serious manner. We got you. There you go.
But I like wordplay. So Primera Source Tells will probably not change, but basically it's just the word primary mixed with the last part of dinosaur. So Primera Source Tells, and that's our kids show. And actually on Spotify, so we have the show, and then there's Primera Source Tells Jams, which are just the songs from the show. So theme song, the potty time song, and all the songs that they learn. Like there's a cooperate song, COOPERATE, and then they learn like how to spell and all this other stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, but at the easiest,
badly
easiest at High Form Family, and then highformfamily.com. That's where you can find everything.
Oh God, do I did a skit of mumble rappers learning how to spell from their songs just popping.
you imagine 21's 21 Savage trying to give grammatical advice?
Oh, the way my mind works. The way my mind works. Oh my God.
You put in the sentence 21. That is not a sentence. That is just a double negative.
That's a double negative.
Oh my goodness.
2J's teaching math. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
I'm here for all of it.
Josh, my guy, it's going to be a pleasure to work with you. Number one.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming on to talk about these projects. This door is always open to you to come in and talk about whatever it is you have going on, because
I appreciate that.
As you know, this show is all about promoting POC creatives and putting them in the showcase and putting them in the light that they normally would not get seen in. And to hear things like this and hear stuff, and not just one particular genre of a project, but a myriad of them. And that helps in so many ways. So I appreciate you coming on and talking about them and showing that light. And I want to know this Wu-Tang voice actors, because I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for anything you need. Give me a holla. I mean, we're obviously working together. So you're like, hey, I want to put this on the show. Come on. Just
and I don't take that lightly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Will, you are getting emails because you volunteered to.
Yeah. You volunteered audio. So
Will's just like, I offer my Serenfest tribute. So, but I appreciate you coming on, man. It's dope talking to you. We obviously are going to continue our conversations. Yes. But we're going to close this out. Lady Mandalore. I'm going to have to change I'm going to have to change the names on the intro.
Oh, I got it. Maybe I'll take Roomful of Blurs off just when I'm on here. I'll just leave it as Lady Mandalore. No, I don't care. I mean, I'll do both. I don't know. I'll put a banner in the back. Anyway, hi. I am Lady Mandalore. And I'm also on Instagram and Fanbase as Roomful of Blurs. I can be found under Twitter at Roomful of Blurs, but without the 2 O's in room. Whew. And on Saturday nights on Fanbase, I hold an audio chat room at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you feel the need to speak about all things nerdy, geeky, and pop culture, that is where you can find me. I also have a podcast called Child of Mandalore, and it is on Spotify, Apple iTunes, your grandmother's old radio station, wherever you can find me. Where I go into the history of the planet and the people of Mandalore.
All right. Our cinematic assassins in the building now going to be volunteering or offering himself as tribute for audio.
Yeah, let's say the newest audio engineer for Talk Story to Me.
Audio assassin. Audio assassin.
Audio assassin. I like that. He's just all over the place.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere on socials at Mayhem Media. That's MAYEHEM Media. Yeah, I talk movies, I talk TVs. If you like reading things, I'm on Pure Fandom, writing about trailer reviews. If you are into skits and reviews of the visual perspective, they're coming to your Instagram and your TikTok and your YouTube. If you like watching and listening things, I'm here, of course, on Blur's Eye View. I also have my own podcast coming called Blur's Absurd with two good people, Ali March and Mark the Shark. We're going to be bringing you blurred news and reviews with a sports debate sort of spin to it. So if that sounds like something you're interested in,
Go ahead, Skip. Skip.
That's what we're getting into. But that's all for me. Pass the mic.
All right.
Go ahead,
the Black Fox of the squared circle.
I'm sorry, I had to stop myself because I almost went into Shane Sharp for a second. Anyways, I'm just like, man, every time I talk, you interrupt my monologue. No, let me shut up. No, as he said, of course, Black Fox 447. You can find me almost everywhere, almost all social media. I usually review and post a lot of things that I play: video games, movies, animation, gym stuff, because I forgot I was supposed to go to the gym sometime today. But anyway, I'm getting there eventually. But aside from that, as Chris has said, I usually do follow wrestling. I do write wrestling articles for the Blurred's Eye View website. Why? Because wrestling is real. People are fake. Shout out to Mr. Kennedy for that one. Because trust me, it's a wild time in WWE right now. But that's a whole nother subject. It's a wild time. And I mean, just
the Saudi Arabia cell.
I mean, the Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's bad. The outside story of WWE is actually better than the inside story of WWE.
Yeah,
but
yeah, for real,
for
real.
I mean, who knew that the arch nemesis could come back like Revenge of the Sith and give the same type of storyline? But aside from that,
there's anyone going to tear down my organization, it's going to be me.
Pretty much. You can just hear him. You can just hear the gravitas out of it. It's like, if I can't have the WWE, no one can. I was like, you can literally hear it. But anyway, aside from that, I do have a couple of podcasts that I'm also over. My weekly political and current news podcast called How the Frack We Got Here usually airs every Wednesday and Saturday, just because I believe you do need to be informed about the world around you, even though it may be crumbling and maybe in a hot mess and we all might be vaporized. But hey, at least you should know. Aside from that, I do have another podcast with my co-captain Joe Tonello called Get Bit Podcast every Friday. Can be seen on Facebook and on YouTube as we try to cover everything in the world of geeks and nerds and blurs, and give our opinions on a lot of things. But like I said, follow me. The only thing I ask is don't be a creeper. We can all be cool. That's all I got.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Well, everybody, it's your man on the wall, Chris Fury. Normally Will would know me as the man in black. I got back to wearing my graphic cookies and not the work shirt. I'm
actually wearing black today. That's the wild part. I was hoping to match.
Oh man, you can follow me on IG, and when you go to IG, you can see the link tree in the bio where it'll send you to all the fantastic places where you can find us on the socials, including Facebook. There you are, and Twitch. Blurred's Eye View 1 is the handle. Go check us out. You can also follow us on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. You can watch this episode, past episodes, reviews, and more on there with the Fury's reaction reviews. Because man, I'm behind. There's been so much going on. Also, you can listen to us on Opulence Radio. Just download the Opulence. Go to opulenceradio.com. You can download the app, and you can see us or listen to us Tuesdays and Thursdays all day long. And then you can hear the new episodes Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and then Thursdays at 9 p.m. same channels. So, as I do with every show, I want to thank our guest, Josh Evans, for coming on, talking about that project. This is such a dope project that he has going on. I love it. I really love it. I really do. Damn. I can't wait to dive into this. I swear I am going to be all in my bag.
Looking forward to it.
This is gonna be. I'm telling around, walking around like y'all can't tell me nothing. I mean, I'm channeling Doom, Lex, Thanos. Why not?
You are definitely getting Carnivorous the cat.
Yeah, okay.
Carnivorous.
Wife's gonna walk around like, why are you walking around with this stuffed cat all the time?
His name is Carnivorous.
Why not?
For the show, it's a tax write-off.
It's a tax write-off. For the show, it's
there
a tax
write-off. Business.
It's for business, and his name's Carnivorous. What is wrong with you? I don't even know you anymore. I don't think you know in the first place. No, I'm kidding.
Y'all on one tonight.
Right. Oh my God. But thanks again, Josh Evans, for coming on, man. Yeah, like I said, the door is always open. Whenever you have this project, like I said, we're going to be working together. This is going to be a blast. Tune in. You know what? March for the Record is going down this Saturday. We are one of the many podcasts that is going for the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest video podcast. So we're going for the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th. We start at 6:00. Blurred's Eye View goes on at 7. We are on for an hour. Guess what we're talking about? The Villain's Return. Yes. How did I know? How did I know? We're talking about the villains from Marvel and DC and how they've returned for another round of Were They Right? I'm inclined to say that they are to a degree, yes. So you want to tune in for that. We're going to have some fun. But once again, I want to thank my guest once again, Josh Evans, for coming on and talking about Talk Story to Me. This and all his many projects that he has going on. If you can catch on to this, listen to it on Spotify, wherever you listen to it. And also, if you are inclined to be in voice acting, please audition. And as he said, let him decide whether it'll fit or not. I mean, you had a person who auditioned and the sound was bad. You put them in the rain. Job offered. There it is. So you never know what you can get. So as I end with every show, I want to thank my guests once again. Thank my team once again. And remember to educate yourself in others, entertain yourself in others, and most of all, encourage yourself in others. This is Chris Fury with this beautiful castmates. There we are, all over there. Until we see you Saturday, because tune in, because it's going to be around. And then we come back again on Tuesday. So we just rocking it out. Hopefully we still have our voices by then. Because I don't know sign language. It won't work for the audio. But until then, we are out of here.
Bye.